Hey guys!
Hey.
Welcome to W&L Review. Today we are reviewing the movie Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. It was made in 2019 and it's rated PG. It was directed by Roach and Renning and it stars Angelina Jolie, Ellie Fanning, Chiwetel Ejiofor, however you say that one, Sam Riley, and yet again it's loosely based on Sleeping Beauty. I can't talk today, again, but with that being said, I'll let my mom explain the movie.
Okay, so this movie picks up where the other one left off. Before I go, I would say that you could probably watch this movie disconnected from the other one and it would still be okay. You might be a little lost, but I think you would probably pick up enough of the movie, the gist of it, that you'd be okay if you didn't watch the first one. Now, with that done, the movie picks up, again, like I said, where it left off. So, at the end of the last movie, Maleficent had invited Aurora to live in the fairy land, and Aurora graciously accepted, and they live there. And Prince Philip and her did go ahead and get married, but it was not like, it was some time later. It wasn't like right away. Like in the Sleeping Beauty, which I always thought was kooky anyway. Who in the world marries somebody they don't know after just waking up? Hello, that's just, that's not very safe. Anyway, it's like, it implies that it's like at least a couple of years later. It doesn't really say, but it implies, so it's been some time later. So her and Prince Philip have now developed a really strong connection, and they are destined to get married, and they are happy, and they are in love, and so it's wonderful. And the next hurdle is his parents. Now, his dad is just just like Philip. He's just really kind and good-hearted and loving and all. His mother, not so much. His mother is played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and she is a fakerton, and she just absolutely does not like fairies, but she's playing it off like, yes, I love fairies, and they're just wonderful creatures, and blah, blah, blah. And behind it, she has this ulterior motive that she's going to eradicate the land of fairies. She just, her brother died tragically when they were children, and from a fairy, and she blames them, so it's kind of this very disturbed woman. She needs help. Anyway, and in the meantime, Aurora convinces Maleficent, because that's her only family, to come to dinner to meet Philip's parents. And Maleficent's like, yeah, I really don't want to do this, and I would probably be the same way. I would be very uncomfortable and probably not feel very good, but at the same time, you want to protect your kiddo, yet you want to be happy for your kiddo, but, anyway, she goes reluctantly, but, Michelle Pfeiffer's character, the queen, she says something and Maleficent just goes off. She's just, bleh, and she gets, her wings come out, and she reeks all sorts of kinds of crap. She's just not in the mood, And in the meantime, So the queen has poisoned her husband, and she blames it on Maleficent and all this kind of stuff. And during this, then Aurora and Maleficent have hit odds, and they are not talking for a while. And Aurora is broken up because this is the only family she's known. This is, the fairies that raised her were bubbleheads in this movie. I mean, they were just kind of wonder how in the world she was raised. But anyway, so this is basically her only family she's had. So she's very distraught. She's very upset. And so is Maleficent. Maleficent is upset. And in the meantime, she is leaving this dinner. And the queen has ordered somebody to shoot her. And she gets shot, but she doesn't die. Because another winged fairy swoops in just in the nick of time and saves her, and he takes her to another part of the land, and where she finds more of her kind, and that she didn't know still existed. And they're these fairies are ticked off, man. They are done. They are like this far beyond, like they are done with the queen and her garbage and the way that they are treated, and so they want to attack. And Maleficent's kind of on the fence because she's got Aurora to think of. And she doesn't want to do this, but yet at the same time she kind of does, because she knows that something's off. And then, as it comes to, things come to blows, and there is a bit of a battle between the fairies and the kingdom. The king he wouldn't have allowed this, but he's in a poisoned sleeping state. He's and has been for quite a while. And so it just so happens that Aurora realized that she looked at her finger, because she still had the scar from her finger when she was poisoned and fell into the sleep. That she thought, oh, I wonder, the queen said, and the queen said it was my mom, was Maleficent, that did this. So she looks at the king, and there's a prickle mark on his arm, and he's been poisoned. But she remembered her and Philip talking to the queen and saying, well, kiss him, wake him up. True love's kiss will wake him up. And she was like, oh, I think he's gone. He's just gone. We're just going to have to deal without having him here, and just ready to just write him off. And it was at that point that Aurora realized everything that she feared, that this woman was actually out to destroy everything that she loved. And Philip was upset because this was his mother, and he couldn't believe that his mother would do that. Not only to do that, but to anybody, but much less his father. And then I thought what was very fitting at the end of the movie, they didn't kill the queen off, but they turned her into a goat. And I thought that was very fitting. I don't want to tell you too much of the movie, but it is very action-packed. And it is a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. Again, I thought that the storyline was really good. The character who plays Prince Philip is not the same young man, I don't think. Didn't seem to be from the first movie, but maybe it is. Maybe he just looks different. But it is a very good movie. It's a very different take on the original Sleeping Beauty tailing of the story. I would say that yes, you can watch this with your young ones. I don't think that there's really anything to worry about in it. I mean, minus some medieval fighting. I don't really think that there's anything to worry about.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, but I'll let my daughter tell you what she thought of the movie.
I really liked it. If I had to choose between the Mistress of Evil and just the original Maleficent, I think I'd choose the second one because it was more action-packed. And I really liked how they explained that Maleficent, she's a fairy, but she's not like the other fairies. She's like being a fairy in and of like all of its own. And not only is she just that, but she's also more powerful than all the other fairies even like her, which makes sense why she was originally given the role to take care of the forest, because she was the most powerful. And I always thought it was weird because she's like normal human size even in her fairy form, but she doesn't have like normal fairy wings either. She had like bird-like wings. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching the first one and thinking, okay, I mean, she is different, that's for sure, but why? Why is she so much different than all the other fairies if she's just a normal fairy? And when we first see her in the older film, she is all alone as a child, and so I know I was left wondering, why is she alone? Where are her parents? Why is she alone here and all of a sudden tasked with this task of being the one to guard the forest, especially if when I said that she's a little girl, she's like, couldn't be more than maybe 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I remember thinking that. And so that, the second film answered all of those questions, and I really liked that. That it was even more dealing with Maleficent's backstory, not just like why the circumstances were for her poisoning Aurora, but giving an actual backstory of her, like who she is and why she's so different compared to everyone else, and I just absolutely love that. But if you guys have seen the film, please let us know what you think. And if you haven't seen the film, I think you guys really should, because I think you guys would enjoy it. I think anyone would enjoy it. I don't know who wouldn't. Then again, I'm sure there's someone out there, and if you don't like it, let us know why, too. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we appreciate all of you. And with that being said, guys, we're going to talk to you next week. Bye!